The poorest US consumers, that's right, the paycheck to paycheck crowd, are funding credit card rewards that help the people that have a lot more money than they do. Hey, everybody, my name's JJ. You're watching Bull, Boom, Bear Bust. All right, Bulls and Bears. Someone sent me this article. And first of all, I apologize to all the people that have sent me emails. I'm really behind on my emails. I'm about probably 3 weeks behind. But this was a more recent one. And this was an article just put out recently displaying how the poor people, and we'll talk about how they're funding this, but they're basically funding these credit card rewards that a lot of people take advantage of. And if you pay off your card in full every month, then you are making the bank pay you by getting these rewards. And there's some cards out there that'll do 1%, even 2% on everything that you buy. And that may not seem like very much, but compared to the people that don't pay off their card every month and are paying interest and carrying over the revolving debt from month to month, well, they're paying a lot to the bank. So even getting 1% instead of paying into the bank is a win when it comes to credit cards and basically getting rewarded for your spending. Even your utility bills, you put that on your credit card, you can get rewards for that with some cards. Now, this was an article put out by Vox, The Ugly Truth Behind Your Fancy Rewards Credit Card. America's poor foot much of the bill for credit card points, miles, and cash back. So the basis of this article is that nothing is free, and if it were not for all the fees and high annual percentage rates that were charged by these banks with these credit cards, then these banks would not even offer any rewards. So when you look at it like that, when the person that doesn't pay off their card in full each month pays a huge interest fee, when someone racks up too much debt and they have an over the limit fee, all the people that are making late payments are getting late fees. People that have to take out cash advances and people that do balance transfers, they're paying transaction fees. So ask yourself, who pays the most fees? It's not the people paying off their card in full each month. It's the people living paycheck to paycheck that have to transfer balances from one card to another. And those are the people in most cases that are running up more debt, so they're going to have more fees and pay more interest. But the people paying off their card in full each month and using their credit card for a lot of their spending, they're getting the rewards. They're getting paid from the bank, right? So it's pretty much backwards, right? We have the poor people paying more of the fees to the bank, the paycheck to paycheck crowd, but we have people with more money able to pay off their debt in full each month, getting paid from the bank. And that's another thing, another example of how the rich get richer. Now, here's how it's broken down in this article. Quote, the American payment system has evolved into a reverse Robin Hood, whereby middle class and working class Americans who pay with a debit card, prepaid card, or cash are subsidizing the wealthy, who pay less for everything. That's Aaron Klein from the Brookings Institution. Right, and also this has to do with transaction fees. So every time a card is swiped, the bank is making a transaction fee from the merchant. All right, so you have to add that on top of all the examples that we've given here today. Merchants are just going to charge extra for their goods and services to make up for those swipe fees from the card. So it's another example. So people that even pay with cash, they're paying for these expenses. And actually some merchants will make you pay the transaction fee. They say if you pay with cash, it's cheaper than if you pay with a card. Right, and also billions in fees are paid each year from people just to get their own money, just to use an ATM in some cases. If you don't use your bank's ATM, you're likely going to pay some sort of fee. And yes, it's just a few dollars. But over the course of a year, with the millions of consumers, banks are making billions of dollars on these fees. And yes, I said billions of dollars, billions with a B, B as in boy. Banks will collect more than 30 billion in overdraft fees this year. And this article goes on to tell how to avoid them. Well, I'll answer that for you right now without having to read this article. Don't spend more than you have in your account. And in fact, don't even use a debit card. Use a credit card instead and get rewards. But yeah, $30 billion just in overdraft fees. And that's just one fee. Think about all the other fees: the transaction fees, the balance transfer fees, ATM fees. Now, I'm not just here to villainize banks. Banks are just players in this game, and they're profiting from this financial system. Now, here's actually a bank that's actually eliminated overdraft fees. Ally Bank kills hated overdraft fees, a huge moneymaker for banks. This is a recent article. Now, starting back in 2020, Ally began to waive those overdraft fees because of the pandemic and the hardships that it faced their customers. But on June 2nd here this year, they said they are eliminating those fees for good. Quote, overdraft fees are a pain point for many consumers, but are particularly onerous for some, and it's time to end them, said CEO Jeffrey Brown in a press release. And if you go down into this article, this is out of Yahoo Finance, by the way, it breaks down exactly what we've been telling you here. Quote, nationwide, more than 80% of overdraft fees are paid by consumers living paycheck to paycheck or with consistently low balances, precisely the people who need help stabilizing their finances. And this is the same CEO saying this, quote, eliminating these fees helps keep people from falling further behind and feeling penalized as they catch up, end of quote. Now that was well said. I just wish the entire banking system was geared more towards helping people that actually need the help. Right? So we can stomp our feet and be mad about it and blame the banks, or we can just be smart and make the bank pay you instead of paying the bank. Okay, here's another quote here out of this Vox article that I just want to read you, and I think it sums up our current financial system pretty well here. It says here, the U.S. economy is stacked in favor of the wealthy and corporations in all sorts of ways, including the stock market and taxes, and the same goes for rewards cards. So don't be a victim, be a victor. Make the bank pay you. Don't take on debt that you can't pay off in full each month. I know it's hard to do when you see people out there taking vacations and spending money that they don't have, and they're living a great life. And I gave the example just last report about some people I know just filed bankruptcy, and these people could not care less about the money that they spend. They don't watch this channel, so they know. So I know that they're not going to be listening to me, and they're good friends. But this is the way they look at things. They care less about what they spend it on. They go out and they don't use coupons. They buy most of their groceries at Costco. They take trips, vacations, everything they buy is new. They never shop for good deals. They never buy anything secondhand or on eBay or in a thrift store. And they live a pretty good life. And now they're going to file bankruptcy and get rid of all the debt. But it was 10 years of having fun and taking trips and buying a lot of cool stuff. And some people may say, ha, 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 they're filing bankruptcy. But guess what? Within a few months of filing bankruptcy, they're probably going to get another credit card, because now banks know that they can't file bankruptcy for, I believe it's another 10 years is the law now. So banks know that they're going to get 10 years of transaction fees and interest charges when it comes to the point where they can't pay anymore. So those same people will still be out there spending and probably still living a pretty good life. We're going to wrap this one up. Let me know what you think about these crazy 30-something billion in fees that banks make each year. And remember, make the bank pay you. Don't pay the bank. Be a victor, not a victim. Thanks for watching and support. We'll talk to everybody very, very soon. Please come back for more economic financial news. Please support this channel by hitting that like button. And we'll see you again here very soon. Bye, everybody. Peace.